Okay. As I told you, we are recording this video for quality issues, and if you need something, you can refer to this video. I will post it online, maybe YouTube, maybe Vimeo. I will tell you the link, and you can refer whenever you need to this class and other classes from this time. You remember last time we talked about the user interface. First, we talked about the file menu, and we talked about our panels. Then we have talked about the projects area with the recent used projects or the recent open project. Then we talked about families, and we said that we have two families environment. The first one was the family creation environment, and the second one was the conceptual massing. If you remember, we talked that we are using the conceptual massing in a specific cases. You remember what was the case that we used the conceptual massing? Yes, it's a curvy shape or an organic shape. What's the other one? If you remember, we talked about the parametric or the deconstructed shapes. If we are talking about the technical shapes,
it has parameter?
Yes, it has parameters. If we are talking about rectilinear shapes, square shapes, rectangles, and all the normal shapes, let's say, we usually access to the project environment. If we have some different shapes or unspecified shapes or strange shapes like a curvy shapes or organic shapes or deconstruction, we go to the conceptual massing. Then we go to the project environment to convert our conceptual masses into our project or walls, roofs, blah 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 blah. Then we said that we have also the recent created families or the recent open families. We have the home page access of Autodesk Revit program, and also we have an access to some resources like what's new in the program, how can I do something, and some helpful links here. Fine? We said if we are starting our project, we have to open or create a new or start a template. But since we didn't install it properly, we need to copy the templates from a file on an installed machine, and then we will have our templates like construction template, architectural template, and blah blah blah, the ones that we created or we mentioned last class. Now I will access to the construction template, and I will have a brief about the user interface again. If you remember, we said that we have our quick toolbar, our title bar, our panels. Each panel talks about itself, right? Architecture, I find architectural tools. Structure, I find structural tools. Systems, we have three branches under systems, which is mechanical, electrical, plumbing, templates, and under each one I have its own tool, right? Then we have the system or the program panels, which is insert, animation, modify, blah blah blah, all the tools that I need to complete or create my own project. Then I will have this ribbon. We will deal with this ribbon frequently, and we have to be familiar with this ribbon because it always asks me questions about the recent creation method. So if I'm creating a wall, it asks me for information about the wall. If I'm creating a window, it's about the window. Lighting fixture or duct or diffuser or whatsoever, it's asking me some information about this product that I'm creating within my file. If I provide this information properly, I will have the perfect file or the perfect project. If I didn't provide the best description of my information, like if I'm creating a light, it will ask me for the height above the ground. It will ask me for example, for the length and the width. When it asks about something, I have to provide the correct and the specific number for this information. When I provide this thing, it will be perfectly created within my project, and then whenever I ask for any information, I will get the right and the correct one. Fine? So we have to be familiar with this ribbon. Then if you remember, we talked about the properties palette, and we have talked about the project browser. Who can tell me what we said about the properties palette?
Currently giving the exact information about the model.
Yes, it's telling me some information, or it gives me the information about what? About the selected object. If I'm selecting a disk, for example, it will give me the level, it will give me the offset above the level, below the level, it asks me about the length, about the width, about the material, images, blah, 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 blah. And every selected object has its own properties palette and its own information. Fine? About the project browser, Ajmal.
For the levels and section projection.
Yes, it's like the point of view that I'm viewing my project from. Like, if I have this desk, if I slice it vertically, I have a section. So if I'm going to see the section, I will not go to level 1, right? I will browse this project browser and select where is my section. If I want section 1, and I will get section 1. If I want section 2, I will get section 2. If I want to see it in plan, then I will go to floor plans. I will double click on the required plan or the required view, then I will see it here. Here I have the view properties tools. If I want to change anything about the view, like the scale or the shading properties, or let's say the cropping view, I want to see only this portion, so I'm cropping this view, I will use these tools. And you see there are many tools, we will talk about them during the classes. We said that we have a working place. What was the name of the working place in Autodesk products?
Level and model.
Viewport. Viewport. We have said that it's the viewport in all Autodesk products. We are not talking about a working space, but it's not wrong, by the way, if you said it's the working space. But to be familiar with Autodesk vocabs, it's what? It's the viewport. Then I have the navigation tools. After that, if I'm in the 3D, I will have a cube here. Let's go to the 3D. If I'm in the 3D view, I will have this nice view cube. It will lead me, if I am seeing the 3D, I'm seeing the front elevation in 3D, blah, 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 and so on. Fine? That's what we have talked about during the last class. Anyone has any question about that class? I think it's something easy, and we are all familiar with these things with other programs if we are using other software, especially if we are using Autodesk software, so it's very, very, very common for us. Right? Now, we have started talking about the Revit logic. We said that it's not a 2D program. We are not drawing 2D. We are not drawing lines. We are not drawing blocks like AutoCAD. And since we are starting talking about Revit, let's forget that we are talking, or we are working, or we have experience in AutoCAD. Fine? Because it's a different story. We have said in the last class that if we are working in Revit, we are creating the 3D model, and then we are asking for the views. That's why we are seeing the lines in 2D. That's why we are seeing the plans. That's why we are seeing the elevations, for example. But the point of view for Revit that I have the 3D model, and you slice it wherever you want, or see it in the 3D. We have said about we have talked about the cake, right? We have a cake or a piece of cake. It's the 3D. You can rotate it, orbit it, and look at it from any point of view. And if you want to give your friend a slice, you will cut a section. If you are asked about the layers of the cake, you are having the plan. If you are asked to see the slice in 3D, so it's a 3D section. Fine? That's the way of thinking that we have to use during working on what? On our program. It's a 3D object, and I am viewing it from any point of view. The second point of view in Revit, that you have to provide information always. Always you have to give information. How come? If you are creating this piece of furniture, whatever it is, or whatever the object is, you need to provide. First, what's the type of the object? Fine, it's electrical, for example. Right? It's an LCD. It's a screen. It's a 13-inch or 15-inch or whatsoever. And then, we are in which floor now? now our company or our academy in the mezzanine floor, right? So the first thing I'm telling about the screen, that I am creating this screen in the mezzanine floor. Is it on the floor itself? It's not on the floor, right? It's on what? On the table. So the second thing I'm telling the program, it's not on the floor, it's above the floor. The most important information now, what's the height of the base of this screen? So if the height of this table is 70 centimeters, so I will provide the base constraint of this screen is 70 centimeters. And then I can copy, rotate, and align them on the tables. I can provide the tables, I can provide the cases, the chairs, and now I have my furniture. For being accurate, we have created before the walls, ceiling, and the floor. So we allocated our furniture inside our home, right? That's the logic. Let's see how can we do that in our program. For example, now I'm in the 3D. I want to create a wall, for example. Okay. Now it's a wall. If I want to create the wall, I selected my order. The second thing that I will provide something here, we said. Remember? We said that this ribbon will ask me many questions. The first question, level. It's what I said about what? About the screen. So I am creating this in level 1. And by the way, for me, I don't like the way of naming level 1, level 2, level 3, whatsoever. Don't do that, please. What to do? We are naming basement 2, basement 1, street level, ground floor, first, blah, 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 and so on, right? Why? Now it's asking me, what level do you want to assign this wall? How can I know that level 2 is the first floor or the mezzanine? I can't do that. So, just give a proper name. And how to do that, I will tell you. Okay, let's say that I'm creating it on the level 1. Then it asks me, what do you want to provide the program? Are you specifying the depth or you are